Kohli's command, Krinaul's craft, RCB blazed past KKR in IPL 2025 opener. Eden Gardens, Kolkata. Under the lights of a buzzing Eden Gardens in the shadow of new season expectations, Royal Challengers Bengaluru, RCB unleashed performance that combined ruthlessness, flair, and smarts to dismantle defending champions Kolkata Knight Riders, KKR by 7 wickets and 22 balls to spare. If this was a litmus test of their auction strategy and new leadership core, they passed it with flying colors. On a pitch offering just enough grip and bounce to demand smart cricket, RCB's planning was on point. Their bowlers, particularly Krinaul Pandya and Josh Hazlewood, delivered precise spells that punctured KKR's innings at both ends. Then, Phil Salt and Virat Kohli made a mockery of the chase with a thunderous 95-run opening stand that underlined intent and authority. Hazlewood and Krinaul, the early disruptors, the middle overs maestros. RCB's bowling blueprint was simple: use bounce early and pace off later. Hazlewood, returning to IPL action after a long break, looked as sharp as ever. His opening salvo saw Quinton de Kock bowl for just 2, with his signature hard length proving too spicy on the Eden surface. The real stinger came after the Naren Rahane blitz. With KKR motoring at 107.41 after 9.5 overs, they looked poised for 200+. But Krinaul Pandya stepped up, using his angles and subtle variations to derail the momentum. He removed Rahane, 56 off 31, who had been in vintage touch. Then came the dismissal of Venkatesh Iyer, undone by a quicker ball. And finally, Rinku Singh bowled attempting a slog. 3 wickets in 3 overs, all with different tactical intent, showing why Krinaul was RCB's most astute pick in the mega auction. Russell's wrong UN woes return. KKR's hope rested, as it often does, on the broad shoulders of Andre Russell. But RCB had done their homework. Enter Surya Sharma, and more specifically, his googly, Russell, yet again, failed to read the variation and saw his middle stump shattered. Since 2018, Russell averages a lowly 13 against the wrong UN, a stat RCB exploited to perfection. The back end of KKR's innings fizzled. From a potential 190+, they ended at a middling 174.48, thanks to Hazlewood and Yash Dayal strangling the last 4 overs for just 23 runs. Salt and Kohli, the perfect blend of ferocity and finesse. The chase was never going to be easy against KKR's attack at home. But RCB's newest import, Phil Salt, playing against the very team he powered to a title last year, had other ideas. He cracked the first ball of the inning for 4 and never looked back. When Varun Chakravarthi was introduced early to apply brakes, Salt applied the accelerator, smashing 20 off 1 over. Salt's 56 off 31 was packed with signature aggression, down-the-track lofts, late cuts, and brute straight hits. Kohli, meanwhile, was fluent, focused, and ferocious when needed. His 59 not out off 36 was Kohli at his best, pacing, rotating, then exploding. The pair's 95-run opening partnership in just 8.3 overs crushed KKR's hopes before they could think of Plan B. Tactical win for RCB. This was not just a win. This was a statement. A few highlights of their match-winning strategy. Smart bowling matchups. Krinaul used against Rahane. Suyos deployed just in time for Russell. Field placements and spin strangulation. Not once did KKR look comfortable post the 10th over. Aggressive chasing tactics. They didn't just chase the target. They bullied it. Kohli's fire still burns bright. For a man entering yet another IPL with all eyes on his longevity and leadership value, Kohli's innings was timely and telling. His intent during the power play and his urge to finish strong, even when the win was in the bag, hinted at a man on a mission. He wasn't just anchoring. He was dominating. The 6-over mid-wicket off Varun, the cheeky late dab past short third, the calm chat with Patidar mid-innings. It was vintage and evolved Kohli in one package. KKR's questions start early. KKR's middle order crumble, poor finishing with the ball, and the decision to let Salt go all come under the scanner. Yes, Rahane and Naren's 103-run stand was thrilling, but the batting collapse that followed was alarming. Venkatesh Iyer looked short on answers. Rinku Singh's form slump continues, and their death bowling lacked punch, especially after Varun was neutralized early. Final word, Bengaluru mean business. If this opening win is anything to go by, Royal Challengers Bengaluru are not just in it for vibe this year. They are in it to win it, and with smart acquisitions, bold leadership, and an aggressive approach, they've thrown down the gauntlet from match one. As for KKR, they'll have to regroup quickly, find their middle-order mojo, and figure out their bowling combinations before it's too late. Stay tuned for more reports, exclusive visuals, and insights as IPL 2025 heats up. Ashwani's ascendancy, MI's rookie rattle KKR's Rick Elton guides home win in Wankhede Fortress. Mumbai is a city of cinematic debuts, but few scripts, not even Bollywood's finest, could have imagined what unfolded at the Wankhede on Sunday night. Ashwani Kumar, a 23-year-old fast bowler with just 4 domestic T20 matches under his belt, delivered a masterclass in composure and precision, spearheading Mumbai Indians' dominant 8-wicket win over defending champions Kolkata Knight Riders. While seasoned pros and megastars were on show, it was a rookie with nerves of steel and a wicked bouncer who stole the spotlight and left KKR wobbling at the feet of a new MI bowling talisman. The Ashwani arrival. In a world where bat dominates ball, Ashwani Kumar's first over rewrote the tone of the game. Brought in for his debut, nerves were obvious, no lunch, sleepless energy, yet with his very first ball, he dismantled the stumps of KKR captain Ajinkya Rahane. The delivery was fast, full, and fearless, and from there, Ashwani never looked back. He bowled with pace in the low 130s to early 140s, yet it was his subtle variation in length and awareness of batter intent that made him devastating. Rinku Singh tried to counterattack with a boundary, only to be lured into a false stroke and caught at deep point. Then came Andre Russell, who briefly threatened to launch a trademark blitz, but Ashwani responded with fire, a searing bouncer followed by a surprise full one that crashed into the base of off stump. Pure theatre, pure precision. His final figures, 4 for 24 in 4 overs, were the best ever by an Indian on IPL debut. It wasn't just a spell. It was a statement. Bolt's beautiful beginnings. While Ashwani's spell was a headline act, the platform was built by a familiar face. Trent Bolt, the magician of the first over, delivered yet again, for a record 30th time in the IPL. He removed Naren with a pitch that crashed into the stumps, setting the tone with a snarl of swing and seam. From the other end, Deepak Chahar was clever and calculated. Bowling wider lines to negate Quinton de Kock's leg side power, he induced a false stroke that ended the South Africans' innings cheaply. MI's strategy was textbook: take the pace off when required, exploit early movement, and field aggressively. KKR collapsed under spin and pressure. Knight Riders, despite early setbacks, attempted to press the accelerator. They knew the Wankhede is no place to meander, especially when batting first. But their aggression came without the necessary caution. 8 attacking shots in the first 4 overs gave moments of hope, but only 1 delivered runs. Rinku Singh's dismissal was pivotal. The stylish left-hander had just begun to find his rhythm, but trying to go big again too soon cost him his wicket. With KKR reduced to 4 down before 10 overs, the rest was just survival. They limped to 116 all out, a score far below par, especially on a ground where 200 is often just about enough. MI's bowling unit, surprisingly without Bumrah, delivered a unified display of discipline, spearheaded by youth and backed by experience. Rickelton's recovery and resilience. If Ashwani dazzled with the ball, Ryan Rickelton was a calm at the crease. His innings didn't begin in spectacular fashion. He was beaten 4 times in his first over. His first boundary was an inside edge, his first 6 a top edge. But what followed was a masterclass in situational awareness. He adjusted his tempo, soaked in the pressure, and then pounced. Rickelton's straight drive off Harshit Rana sparked confidence, and from there he was all muscle and timing. He reached his half-century with a towering 6 off Sunil Narine and stayed unbeaten on 62 off 43, anchoring the chase with class. There were worries elsewhere. Rohit Sharma's lean patch continued, out for 13, and while MI fans can breathe easy after a win, the captain's form remains a talking point. Surya Kumar Yadav's silent finish. Sometimes the loudest innings are the ones filled with silence. Surya Kumar Yadav didn't need to do much, just support Rickelton and close the door on KKR's slim hopes. He did just that, finishing things off with a flourish, lofting the winning 6 into the Mumbai sky. It wasn't a flashy innings, but one that highlighted MI's batting depth and confidence in their lineup, even without requiring contribution from Ishan Kishan or Tilak Varma. a fortress called Wankid. This win takes MI's record against KKR at Wankid to 10-2. There's something about this stadium, this crowd, and this atmosphere that powers the men in blue and gold. Even in a year of rebuilding and transition, with a new-look bowling lineup and young talent at the fore, the spirit of dominance at home remains untouched. Takeaways and talking points. Ashwani Kumar's rise. With India constantly searching for pacers who can bowl under pressure, Ashwani has just thrown his hat into the ring for bigger honors. Expect this name to echo through the season. Rohit's concern. While MI will celebrate tonight, their captain's lack of runs is a shadow. With multiple young openers coming through, Rohit will want to lead from the front soon. KKR's batting chaos. From poor shot selection to inability to adapt, the defending champions look jaded. It's still early days, but their depth and intent must sharpen quickly. Mumbai's bowling without Bumrah to win so comfortably without their ace is testament to squad depth. Bolt, Chahar, and now Ashwani have built a formidable pace corps. The final word. IPL is a stage where stars rise from nowhere and rookies become household names in a night. For Ashwani Kumar, this was that night. The dream debut wasn't just about numbers. It was about presence, poise, and the ability. IPL 2025 Match 2 report. Sunrisers Hyderabad vs Rajasthan Royals, March 23, 2025. Kishan's dazzling 106 powers Sunrisers to a dominant win in a run-fest thriller. Result: Sunrisers Hyderabad 286-46, Kishan 106, Head 67. Deshpande 3-4-44 beat Rajasthan Royals 242-46 Jural 70, Samson 66. Samajit 2-4-46 by 44 runs. Venue: Rajiv Gandhi International Stadium, Hyderabad. Introduction: Sunrisers blaze a new trail with power, precision, and Kishan's class. Sunrisers Hyderabad signal their intention for IPL 2025 with a searing, record-threatening display of power hitting and precision in their opener against Rajasthan Royals. In a match that yielded a whopping 528 runs, SIH's new recruit Ishan Kishan lit up Hyderabad with scintillating, unbeaten 106 off just 47 deliveries on his franchise debut. Supported by Travis Head, Blitzkrieg, and supporting cars that kept the pressure on throughout, the Orange Army ran riot in their return to home turf. While Rajasthan Royals fought valiantly with half-centuries from Sanju Samson and Dhruv Jural, the target proved insurmountable. Ultimately, Sunrisers walked away with a 44-run win and the loudest statement of the season's opening week. Kishan's dream debut, 100 that roared. Kishan's innings was not just powerful, but calculated and commanding. Coming in at number 3, he quickly imposed himself on the Royals' attack, smashing 6 boundaries or sixes in his first 13 bowls. From the very first delivery he faced, Kishan looked like a man on a mission. His shot selection was clean, crisp, and devastating. Whether it was Theekshana's spin or Deshpande's cutters or Archer's pace, Kishan dismantled them all with ease. He brought up his half-century off 25 balls, and his ton, his first ever in the IPL, off 47 balls, raising his bat to a deafening roar from his new home fans in Hyderabad. Travishek ignites the power play. SRH's early carnage was orchestrated by the dynamic duo of Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma, affectionately dubbed Travishek by fans. Abhishek's early boundaries and Head's signature clean striking pushed the Royals into defensive mode almost immediately. The pair racked up 94 runs in the power play, the 5th highest in IPL history, and laid the foundation for the mountain of runs to follow. While Abhishek fell for 19, Head continued to pound the bowling, racing to 67 off 31 balls before holing out to Deshpande. The Royals' response: Samson and Jural bring the fight. Chasing a mammoth 287, were rocked early by Samajit Singh, who accounted for both Jaiswal and Parag in a fiery opening spell. When Mohammad Shami dismissed Nitish Rana shortly after, were tottering at 54-3. However, Samson, playing through injury and introduced as the impact player, counterattacked with flair. His 66 off 36 balls, which included 4 towering sixes, reignited hopes of a chase. Dhruv Jural complemented him beautifully, compiling a fearless 70 off just 35 balls, taking the game deep. Their 111-run partnership briefly put SIH on the defensive, but Harshal Patel and Adam Zampa, deployed smartly in the middle overs, stemmed the tide. Patel dismissed Samson with a deceptive short ball, and Zampa removed Jural, extinguishing any chance of a miraculous chase. Archer's nightmare, Royals' missed opportunity. Jofra Archer's much-anticipated return to the IPL turned into a horror show. Targeted mercilessly by SIH batters, Archer conceded 76 runs in his 4 overs, the most expensive spell in IPL history. Head's brutal assault in Archer's first over, 23 runs, set the tone, and Kishan never let the pressure drop. RR's bowling unit, save for Deshpande and Samajit, looked overwhelmed. The absence of Hasaranga in favor of Theekshana was questioned in hindsight, especially with Theekshana struggling to contain the left-handers. Key moments. Kishan's century on debut, seamless integration, sublime execution. Travishek power play, 94 in 6 overs shattered RR's rhythm. Samajit's early strikes, RR would have been blown away without his double. Samson Jural stand, gave the Royals a sliver of hope. Harshal and Zampa finish, clinical and composed under pressure. Expert quotes. Matthew Hayden. On commentary, not sure I've seen a poorer IPL spell than Archer's tonight, but that shouldn't take away from Kishan's brilliance. It was clinical and audacious. Ishan Kishan, player of the match. I felt a lot of freedom in this setup. It helps when the team backs you to go hard. I'm just happy to contribute to a winning start. Sanju Samson. Post-match. We fought well after a poor start, but that power play really hurt us. There's still a lot to take from this game. Final word, Sunrisers send a message. SIH didn't just win, they laid down a marker. With Kishan in devastating form, Head continuing where he left off last season, and bowlers stepping up under pressure, they showed why they're a serious title contender. Rajasthan Royals, despite the loss, showed fight in patches, particularly with the bat. But they'll need to tighten up their bowling to stay competitive in this ruthless league. Final result, Sunrisers Hyderabad won by 44 runs. Player of the match, Ishan Kishan, 106 not out 47 bowls. IPL 2025 match report. Rajasthan Royals vs Chennai Super Kings March 30th, 2025. Rana's Blaze and Hasaranga's Wizardry seal Royals' first win as CSK slump again. Result, Rajasthan Royals 182-49, Rana 81, Parag 37, Noor 24-28, Patharana 24-28, beat Chennai Super Kings 176-46, Gaikwad 63, Hasaranga 4-4-35 by 6 runs. Venue, Guwahati. Royals roar back, CSK stutter. On a thrilling Sunday evening in Guwahati, Rajasthan Royals claimed their first victory of IPL 2025 with a gritty 6-run win over Chennai Super Kings. The match ebbed and flowed in classic T20 fashion, but a ferocious inning by Nitish Rana and a masterful spell of spin bowling from Wanindu Hasaranga proved decisive. Despite a spirited effort from Ruturaj Gaikwad and a late push from Ravindra Jadeja and MS Dhoni, CSK once again faltered under pressure. Rana's record blitz and tactical tweak. Promoted to number 3 in a surprise move, Nitish Rana repaid the Royals' faith with an electric 81 off just 36 deliveries. The tactical shift from Riem Parag to Rana at 1 drop was clearly aimed at exploiting his dominant record against Ashwin, and it paid dividends. Rana's fireworks included back-to-back 6s and a 4 off Ashwin, pushing the veteran spinner onto the back foot. His aggression during the power play gave RR 58 of the 81 runs in that phase, neutralizing early wickets of Jaiswal and Samson. While Ashwin eventually had the last laugh, dismissing Rana for the first time in IPL history, it was too late. Rana had already inflicted serious damage, pushing RR into a strong position. Middle order wobbles and CSK's fight back. After Rana's departure, Rajasthan's innings struggled for momentum. Noor Ahmed's twin strikes, removing Samson and Jural, stemmed the flow, and Ravindra Jadeja's economical spell contributed to CSK's comeback. Jamie Overton had a night to forget on debut, conceding 30 runs in just 2 overs. However, Mathisha Patharana and Khalil Ahmed held their nerve in the death overs, conceding only 17 runs in the last 3 overs. Hetmir, Hasaranga, and Hetmir's drop catch added drama, but RR finished with 182, competitive, but not out of reach. CSK's shaky start, Archer and Deshpande strike early. Jofra Archer set the tone for Royals' defense with a fiery wicket maiden, removing Rachin Ravindra for a duck. Tushar Deshpande's aggression rattled Gaikwad, who sustained a painful blow on his elbow. Rahul Tripathi's struggles continued. While he tried to break the shackles with a six-off archer, Hasarenga's entry proved pivotal. Hasarenga's magic spell. Bowling in tandem with Deekshana, Hasarenga dismantled CSK's middle order. He first removed Tripathi and then tricked Shivam Dube with a wrong UN, brilliantly caught by Rian Parag. Vijay Shankar fell soon after, failing to read another wrong UN. Hasarenga's forfeit not only broke the backbone of the CSK innings, but left them scrambling for momentum. Gaikwad's lone battle and CSK's tactical missteps. Ruturaj Gaikwad played a calculated innings, bringing up a fluent half-century. However, with wickets tumbling at the other end, he was forced into high-risk shots and eventually perished trying to up the ante. Despite Jadeja's late assault and Dhoni's typical flourish, CSK left themselves with too much to do. A boundaryless 18th over from Deekshana and a tight final over from Sandeep Sharma sealed the win for R. Key talking points. Tactical brilliance. Promoting Rana to counter Ashwin was a masterstroke. Hasarenga's impact. His wrist spin was a difference in the middle overs. CSK's batting order. Their conservatism and inability to rotate strike hurt them. Dhoni and Jadeja's role. While still valuable, they perhaps needed to attack earlier. Archer's power play fire. A wicket made in upfront set the tone for R. Quotes and reactions. Chichwar Pujara, commentator, Dhoni and Jadeja could have gone harder earlier. They left themselves too much to do. Ian Bishop, on commentary, Hasarenga's googlies worked like magic. His variations were unreadable tonight. Ruturaj Gaikwad, post-match, we kept losing wickets, and it's hard to chase 180-plus without partnerships. Credit to their bowlers. Wanindu Hasarenga, player of the match, I just wanted to bowl my best wrong-uns. Happy to help my team win. Looking ahead, this result puts Rajasthan Royals back on track after a sluggish start and provides much-needed confidence heading into the next phase. For CSK, consecutive losses raise questions about their middle-order structure and tactical clarity. Both teams have shown glimpses of brilliance, but only R translated as into points on the board. IPL 2025 is heating up, and this clash may just be the spark that ignites a fiery run of form for the Royals. Final result, Rajasthan Royals won by 6 runs. Player of the match, Wanindu Hasarenga, 4 for 35 in 4 overs. Spin, sorcery, and strategic strikes. CSK trump MI in style as Noah and Ravinder shine in opener. The roar of Cheepork returned, not just for the Sea of Yellow, not just for the iconic MS Dhoni, but for a refreshed Chennai Super Kings outfit that combines smart recruitment, electric execution, and a classic chase to register a 4-wicket victory over Mumbai Indians in IPL 2025. While all eyes were initially on CSK's season campaigners, it was 2 southpaws, Noor Ahmed with a ball and Rachin Ravinder with a bat, who turned heads and steered Chennai to a convincing win in a match that saw some wild momentum shifts. Khalil sparks early trouble with precision power play. Chennai's IPL 2025 campaign was off to a dream start even before spin took over. New recruit Khalil Ahmed, operating under the lights with just enough movement on offer, delivered a classic opening spell. He cramped the Mumbai Indians openers and was unrelenting in his angles and lengths. Rohit Sharma's underwhelming IPL run continued as he mistimed a short ball to deep square, while Ryan Rickelton played on trying to force pace. Khalil's figures of 3 for 29 included pressure spells that not only kept the run rate in check, but also exposed MI's middle order early. And from there, the CSK spinners took charge. Noor Ahmed, wrist spin wizardry at work. Bowling with grace and guile, Noor Ahmed was simply unplayable. Turning the ball both ways with minimal change in action, Noor had even MS Dhoni scrambling behind the stumps, a rare sight at Cheepork. He dismissed Suryakumar Yadav with a classic wrong UN that beat the bat and the batter's brain. Then came the big blow. Tilak Varma, who had tried to counterattack, was left rooted to the crease by a delivery that drifted in and spun past his bat for an LBW. He wasn't done. He returned to the death to bowl Namantar around his legs and closed his spell with 4 for 18, etching his name in CSK's history as a spinner with the best figures against MI. MI's moment of spark, Chahar and Putha. While Deepak Chahar provided a sliver of hope with a breezy 28 off 15 balls, including a 6 and 2 fours, the batting unit never found rhythm. Mumbai Indians finished at 155 for 9, a total that felt slightly under par on a surface that had something for everyone. Their response with the ball started with energy. Chaha, buoyed by his late batting cameo, struck with the ball too. His short ball hurried Rahul Tripathi, who had been promoted ahead of Ruturaj Gaikwad, and MI briefly had a sniff. Then came a show of timing, technique, and touch. Gaikwad's gusto, Ravindra's calm. Ruturaj Gaikwad batted like he owned the Cheapawk strip. Every stroke was measured. Every movement, precise. He dismantled Trent Bolt's early threat, took down spin and pace alike, and stormed to a 26-ball half-century. His inside-out six-off jacks was elegance turned aggression. But as quickly as CSK took control, Vignesh Putha, the left-arm wrist spin on debut, reeled things back. Putha's spell of 3 for 32 claimed the scalps of Gaikwad, Shivam Dube, and Deepak Hudo, all caught trying to force pace on his drifting deliveries. His slow pace and loop-induced mistimed strokes, and perhaps for the first time in the night, Mumbai Indians believed. Rachin Ravindra, the Rock. When the dust settled, Rachin Ravindra stood tall. Mixing aggression with patience, he struck 3 sixes off Putha, counterattacking when needed but also dropping ankle when wickets tumbled. With Ravindra Jadeja for company, the duo calmly picked off singles, punished errors, and eventually killed the contest. Ravindra's unbeaten 65 off 45 balls was a masterclass in control and game awareness. When Jadeja was run out, the crowd roared, not for the wicket, but for the arrival of MS Dhoni at number 8. In a cheeky twist, it was Ravindra who finished it with a 6, while Dhoni remained 0 off 2, helmet off, soaking in the crowd adoration. The verdict: CSK's 4-wicket win might read close on the scorecard, but it was a tactical triumph. Their new recruits delivered with composure. Their core remained unshaken. And with No's wrist spin, Gaikwad's flair, and Ravindra's poise, they looked aside ready to challenge anyone. For Mumbai Indians, questions remain. Can their middle order gel quickly? Will the inexperienced bowling unit find consistency? But perhaps the brightest spark was a young Vignesh Putha, raw, brave, and ready for the big stage. Match awards, unofficial. Player of the match, Noah Ahmed, 4-for-18 from 4 overs. Game changer, Rachin Ravindra, 65 not out under pressure. Breakout star, Vignesh Putha, 3-for-32 on debut. Moment of the match, MS Dhoni missing a stumping, only for No to clean up the bat to the next ball. Shreyas ignites the IPL with fiery flair as Punjab holds off Titans in high-octane clash. Under the dazzling lights of Ahmedabad, where expectations run high and margins run tight, Shreyas Iyer lit up the stage with a masterclass in calculated carnage. His unbeaten 97 off just 42 deliveries was not just a personal milestone denied by circumstance. It was a beating heart of a Punjab Kings innings that surged and surged until Gujarat Titans, chasing shadows in the field and later on the scoreboard, found themselves just a punch short in a thrilling 11-run defeat. This wasn't just a game. This was an announcement. The IPL 2025 is well and truly underway, and Shreyas Iyer has made it clear his back not merely to play, but to dominate. The return of the king. There's a certain rhythm to Shreyas Iyer's batting when he's at his best. He dances down the track with a certainty that blurs the line between recklessness and genius. He picks gaps with finesse and smashes sixes with elegance. On Tuesday night, that rhythm turned into a symphony. Having made his intentions clear early in the week, he wanted to lock down the number 3 spot and define games. He walked the talk in a manner few could have predicted. From the moment he flicked Rabada into the crowd with a wristy whip off his hips, the signs were ominous for the Titans. This was a man not just batting, he was plotting a dismantling. The hallmark of Ayer's innings wasn't just brute force, it was a surgical reading of the game. He chose his bowlers, targeted his zones, and never once let the pressure creep in. He even called off a temptation to chase a century in the final over, instructing his partner Shashank Singh to take charge. The team came first, and yet, ironically, that selfish decision may have made his knock shine even brighter. New faces, familiar fire. While Ayer was a headline act, his supporting cast played their roles to perfection. Priyansh Arya, the 24-year-old southpaw making early ripples this season, took to the power play like a seasoned campaigner. Driving, pulling, and lofting with boldness that defied his years, Arya's 47 was more than a cameo, it was a foundation. In a game where momentum sways wildly, Arya's assertiveness ensured PBKS got the head start they needed. Later came Shashank Singh, the spark that turned a solid innings into a fiery finish. His 44 not out off just 16 balls was a blink-and-miss onslaught. It was Siraj who bore the brunt, carted for 23 in the final over as Shashank sent one into the second tier and drilled another through extra cover with disdain. The partnership of 81 runs between Shreyas and Shashank in just 28 balls was a sucker punch that knocked the wind out of Gujarat's sails. Sai Sudarshan, the calm among chaos. Chasing 244 was always going to be Everest. And yet, for a while, Gujarat Titans made it feel like a gentle hike. Sai Sudarshan, the serene stroke maker with a test match temperament and T20 ambition, played a blinder that kept the contest alive till the very end. It's not just the runs he makes, it's the way he makes them. There's a stillness to his game, a poise under pressure that belongs to a different format, but still translates beautifully. His 74 off 41 balls was a blend of effortless timing and calculated aggression. He took on the paces with lofts and glides, and even danced down to take a bite out of the spinners. Titans seemed ahead at the 14-over mark, a full 30 runs ahead of PBKS at the same stage. Joe's Butler, too, played a fluent hand, his 54 marked by flick sixes and booming drives. Their combined assault in the middle overs had the PBKS think tank on edge. Vishak's decisive spell. Then came Vijaykumar Vishak, freshly substituted in. No time for warm-ups, no warm-up overs. Just mission clarity. Bowl full, bowl straight, and let the dew take care of the rest. In an era where many bowlers fear missing their length at the death, Vishak dared to double down on the Yorker. Over after over, he nailed the base of the stumps or invited the toe end. His spell, just 2 overs long, may not leap off the scorecard, but it changed the mood of the match. Titans, who had 87 from overs 9 to 14, could only muster 50 in their final 5. The squeeze was on, and PBKS held on. Punjab's night to remember. When the dust settled, Titans had come agonizingly close, yet the scoreboard read 11 runs too far. In a tournament where fine margins decide fortunes, PBKS were the sharper, braver side. They attacked the field, gambled on timing, and in the end, showed more steel in crunch moments. Shreyas Iyer was named player of the match, naturally, but the accolade barely captured the grandeur of his impact. He set the tone for PBKS's season, cast a long shadow on the Titans' bowling plans, and sent a message to every opposition in the league. Punjab Kings are not here to participate. They are here to dominate. The bigger picture. This win, by all accounts, might be the birth of something significant. PBKS haven't always been the most consistent side in IPL history, but this year feels different. They've blended youth and experience, pace and guile, and on nights like this, the balance seems just right. Gujarat, meanwhile, will lick their wounds. Their new-look side has plenty of firepower, but the execution wavered when it mattered. Rashid Khan had a rare off day, the death bowling misfired, and the fielding lacked sharpness. But this is just the beginning. For now, though, Punjab will bask in the glow of a well-earned win, led by a skipper who's finally claiming the narrative on his terms. And if this is the Shreyas Iyer we're going to see all season, buckle up. The IPL 2025 ride has only just begun. Delhi Capitals vs. Lucknow Super Giants, March 24, 2025. Ashutosh explosive finish pulls off one-wicket miracle for DC in a last-over heist. Result, Delhi Capitals 211-49, Ashutosh 66, Nigam 39, Stubbs 34, Rutti 2-31, Sidorth 2-4-39. Bishnoi 2-4-53 beat Lucknow Super Giants 209-48. Pooran 75. Marsh 72. Stark 3-42. Kuldeep 2-20 by 1 wicket. Venue Visakhapatnam. Smashutar Sharma headlines a night of madness. In one of the most dramatic finishes in IPL history, Delhi Capitals, written off at multiple stages, clawed their way back into an epic 1-wicket victory over Lucknow Super Giants. Ashutosh Sharma, the man known for heroic but heartbreaking finishes in IPL 2024, finally had his redemption song. With 62 needed off 30 balls and only 4 wickets in hand, he produced a mind-boggling 66 off 31 balls to etch his name in IPL folklore. From 7 for 3 to chasing down 209 in the final over, DC's highest was fueled not only by Ashutosh's brutality, but also by an electrifying cameo from debutant Vipraj Nigam. LSG, after being primed for 250-plus courtesy of a Pooran and Marsh storm, had to settle for heartbreak. LSG blaze in power play. Marsh and Pooran go nuclear. After losing Aiden Markram early, LSG unleashed an all-out assault. Mitchell Marsh, playing as a pure batter, bludgeoned 43 of 19 in the power play, including crisp drives and towering sixes. Nicholas Pooran joined in with equal ferocity, and together they stitched 87 off 42 balls, taking LSG to 100 in just 9 overs. Pooran was particularly ruthless against spin, dismantling Tristan Stubbs for 28 in 1 over, including 4 consecutive sixes. Marsh, meanwhile, punished Stark and Simajit Singh with brute force. The carnage had DC on their knees. Pooran 75, 30 balls, and Marsh's 72, 36 balls had LSG on course for 250. But then came the twist. Kuldeep and Stark flipped the script. Just when LSG looked set to set an IPL record, Kuldeep Yadav and Mitchell Stark turned executioners. Kuldeep struck first, removing Rishabh Pant for a duck with a loopy delivery that was toe-ended to long off. Stark bowled Pooran with a searing full-length in-dipper that smashed the stumps. The collapse began. Ayush Badoni holed out. Shardul Thakur was run out. Stark returned to remove Shahbaz Ahmed and Ravi Bishnoi in his final over. LSG plummeted from 161.42 to 209.48, adding just 48 runs in the final 7 overs. David Miller's 2 sixes off Mohit Sharma in the last over pushed LSG past 200, but it felt just below par after the start they'd had. DC's shaky start collapsed before the comeback. Chasing 210, DC were in disarray early. Shardul Thakur, the unexpected pick due to injury replacements, struck in his first over. Jake Fraser McGurk and Abhishek Parel both misjudged outswingers, falling cheaply. Rizvi was dismissed soon after, and DC were 7-4-3 inside 2 overs. Axar Patel and Faf du Plessis added a mini recovery of 43, but both fell just as momentum was building. When Tristan Stubbs fell after a promising 34, DC were 116.46, and hopes were hanging by a thread. Then entered the Chaos Agents. Enter Vipraj Nigam and Smashutosh. Nigam, debuting at number 8, showed no nose. He attacked Bishnoi and Shahbaz, injecting life into a dying chase. His 39 off 15 balls swung the pendulum and got Ashutosh going too. By the time Nigam fell, DC still needed 42 off 23, and Ashutosh turned into the Terminator. He cracked 46 off his next 11 balls. Bishnoi bore the brunt, 6, 4, 6 in 1 over. Prince Yadav's penultimate over was punished for 10 crucial runs. With Kuldeep run out attempting a single to get Ashutosh back on strike, the match came down to 6 off the final over with 1 wicket left. Final over madness, Ashutosh finishes it. Number 11 Mohit Sharma survived a massive LBW shout and a potential stumping thanks to Pant's fumble. He then nudged a single to bring Ashutosh back. Next ball, boom. Shahbaz floated one up, and Ashutosh drilled it over the sight screen for 6. DC erupted. LSG deflated. Ashutosh's arm flew up. The Capitals swarmed him. It was a heist that shook the IPL. Key moments. Pooran Marsh show 147 runs in 66 balls, nearly unbeatable. Stark Kuldeep revival combined 5 wickets and discipline derailed LSG. Vipraj Spark, debut inning full of clarity, courage, and carnage. Ashutosh redemption, one of the finest finishing knocks in IPL history. Pant versus DC. The former captain watched his new team go down to his old one. Expert quotes. Fab Duplessis, DC mentor. This is why the impact player rule exists. Ashutosh was phenomenal. Ashutosh Sharma, player of the match. Last year, I came close a few times. Today, I finished it. That's all that matters. Rishabh Pant, LSG captain. We had enough runs. We just didn't finish well. Credit to Ashutosh. He was unstoppable. Final word. The Smashitosh era begins. In a match that had 420 runs, it was a final six that mattered most. Ashutosh Sharma may have changed jerseys, but he hasn't changed his appetite for drama. Delhi Capitals pulled off the unthinkable, announcing their arrival with flair. Lucknow will rue their missed chances in rapid collapse. For DC, though, it's a new dawn, and it looks like Smashitosh is leading the charge. Final result, Delhi Capitals won by 1 wicket. 3 balls remaining. Player of the match, Ashutosh Sharma, 66 not out off 31 balls. KKR vs R IPL 2025 match report. Kolkata Knight Riders tame Royals in clinical victory. Date, March 26, 2025 venue, Basapara Cricket Stadium, Guwahati. Introduction. In the glittering heat of the Indian Premier League IPL 2025, the Kolkata Knight Riders KKR produce a commanding performance against the Rajasthan Royals RR to register their first win of the season. Despite the absence of talismanic all-rounder Sunil Narine due to illness, KKR barely missed a beat. Moeen Ali and Varun Chakravarti spun a web around the Royals, restricting them to a modest 151 for 9. The ever-reliable Quinton de Kock then displayed his class with a bat, guiding his side to an emphatic 8-wicket win with an unbeaten 97 off 61 balls. Build-up. High stakes in Guwahati. Guwahati was buzzing with anticipation as RR returned to their second home ground after an early stumble in the tournament. With young local star Rian Parag captaining the Royals, expectations were high. KKR, meanwhile, were under pressure after a disappointing start to the season, and questions were raised about their spin attack in the absence of Narine. But those concerns were quickly laid to rest. First innings, Royals falter on a dry track. Electing to bat first on a sluggish surface, the Royals hoped to put up a challenging total. The pitch, however, was tailor-made for spin, and KKR spinners grabbed the opportunity with both hands. Sanju Samson, usually a reliable figure at the top, fell early to a clever delivery from Vibe of Aurora. Local hero Rian Parag did entertain briefly, with a stunning one-handed six and a lofted drive that got the crowd roaring. But his stay was short-lived as he misjudged a Varun Chakravarti googly and was caught behind. The introduction of Moeen Ali turned the tide. Given his maiden cap for KKR in Narine's absence, Moeen delivered immediately. His dismissal of Yashasvi Jaiswal, who had been threatening to break free, was a crucial moment. His 4-over spell of 2 for 23 contained the middle overs and derailed R's momentum. In tandem, Varun Chakravarti bowled a masterclass of deception and control. With figures of 2 for 17, he outfoxed Hasaranga and Parag, both key wickets that tilted the game decisively in KKR's favor. Shubham Dubey and Dhruv Jural attempted damage control, but with no real momentum, the Royals limped to 151. Jural's 33 off 28 and a few late blows from Jofra Archer gave some respectability, but it was well below par. Second innings, the de Kock show. KKR's chase began with intent. Quinton de Kock was in sublime touch from the outset. Showing his full range of strokes, de Kock took on the Royals' pace attack, especially Archer, whom he dispatched for 2 boundaries in the 3rd over. Moeen Ali, on the other hand, struggled with the bat. Facing sharp bounce and pace, he scratched around before a mix-up with de Kock saw him run out for 5. But that mishap was barely a blip. Rahane fell to Hasaranga, trying to up the ante, but the youngster Ankrish Raghuvanshi played with remarkable composure beyond his years. His unbroken 83-run partnership with de Kock showcased maturity and clean hitting. De Kock, who brought up his half-century in 36 balls, was a fulcrum. His timing, placement, and use of the crease stood out. A 6-over long-on-off Hasaranga and a powerful drive off Parag were among the highlights. He remained unbeaten on 97, just short of what would have been a memorable century. KKR reached the target with 2.3 overs to spare, underlining their dominance. Tactical breakdown. KKR's win was a result of clear strategic thinking. Spin strength. In Naren's absence, Moeen was drafted in as a spin partner to Varun. This decision paid off handsomely. Pace-off strategy. On a dry track, KKR used cutters and spin variations to strangle Ah. Early aggression. The Cox power play assault took the game away early. Ah never recovered. Resource management. Andre Russell didn't bowl and wasn't needed with a bat. This underlined KKR's depth. Player analysis. Quinton de Kock. A near-flawless innings. Balanced aggression with control. Left the bowlers searching for answers. Moeen Ali. With the ball, he was a game changer. Showed that he can step up in pressure situations. Varun Chakravarthi continued his rich vein of form. Awa's middle order had no answers to his mystery spin. Rian Parag showed glimpses of brilliance but needs to shoulder more responsibility as a leader. Post-match reactions. Quinton de Kock player of the match. It felt good to get some runs under the belt. I've been working hard in the nets, and today everything clicked. Credit to our bowlers for setting it up. Shreyas Iyer, KKR captain. Really proud of the boys. Moeen stepped in and bowled beautifully. Quinton was outstanding. We needed this win, and it gives us momentum. Rian Parag, our captain. Tough day. We were 20 to 30 runs short. Need to regroup and bounce back. Still early days in the tournament. The Guwahati crowd and atmosphere. The atmosphere at the Basapara Stadium was electric. Fans had high hopes of their local star, Rian Parag. Though his batting lit up the stands momentarily, the crowd eventually warmed to the majestic stroke play of de Kock. The loud cheers turned into appreciation for good cricket, a hallmark of IPL fandom. Implications for the tournament. This win lifts KKR into contention after a slow start. With Naren expected to return, their spin-heavy strategy looks even more threatening. Meanwhile, must reassess their batting strategy and find more consistency. Conclusion. KKR's 8-wicket win was a statement. They showed depth, clarity in tactics, and individual brilliance. With players like de Kock, Moeen, and Varun in top form, they look ready to mount a serious challenge in IPL 2025. Meanwhile, will need to find solutions quickly. With plenty of games left, the tournament is far from over, but the margin for error is shrinking. Final score, Rajasthan Royals, 151-49. From 20 overs, Kolkata Knight Riders, 153-42 from 17.3 overs. Result, KKR won by 8 wickets. Player of the match, Quinton de Kock, 97 off 61 balls.
Slick Sudarshan and crafty Krishna Power Titans passed MI in Ahmedabad Fortress. Date, 29 March 2025. Venue, Narendra Modi Stadium, Ahmedabad. Result, Gujarat Titans beat Mumbai Indians by 36 runs. If there's one thing Gujarat Titans GT have mastered in the IPL era, it's home dominance. Under the bright lights of the Narendra Modi Stadium, they once again showed how local knowledge, smart planning, and cool execution can outfox even the most glittering teams. On a black soil surface tailored to suit their game plan, GT notched up 196 for 8, a total that proved far too steep for Mumbai Indians, who stumbled to 160 for 6 in reply. While the margin of victory was 36 runs, the story goes much deeper, a picture painted with brushstrokes of Sai Sudarshan's classy stroke play, Prasidh Krishna's canny slower balls, and Siraj's long-awaited breakthrough. Sudarshan and Gill built the Launchapath. When Shubman Gill had declared his desire to fix GT's power play woes this season, fans expected aggression. And aggression is exactly what they got. Gill and Sai Sudarshan took full advantage of the field restrictions, motoring to 66 without loss in the first 6 overs, GT's third-best power play performance ever. Both batters scored 32 off 18, setting the tone with elegant drives, lofts and cuts. It was their 5th consecutive 50-plus stand in T20s and underlined the growing stature of the Gill-Sudarshan duo. Calm, calculated, yet aggressive, their partnership is quickly becoming one of the IPL's most consistent opening acts. MI fight back, Hardik, Muji provide a breather. Just as Titans threatened to spiral out of reach, Hardik Pandya delivered a telling blow, dismissing Gill for 38 off 24 with a clever short ball. He now has Gill's number in T20s, 4 dismissals for just 11 runs in 18 deliveries. Jos Buttler took charge thereafter, breaking the boundary drought with a crisp 6 and 4 off Santner. He kept the scoreboard ticking with elegant stroke play, but Mujib-ur-Rahman halted his progress at 39. Though Sudarshan reached his second consecutive 50, GT's final flourish was muted. Bolt yorked Sudarshan, Tevashia was run out the next ball, and Rutherford fell trying to muscle one over the infield. GT could only add 26 in the last 3 overs. Still, 196 felt 15 to 20 runs above par on this pitch. Siraj breaks the Rohit curse. Few battles have seen as many near misses as the one between Mohammad Siraj and Rohit Sharma in T20s. Until this night, Rohit had never been dismissed by Siraj despite scoring 74 off 55 balls. But the 10th meeting finally flipped the script. Siraj bowled a scrambled seam delivery that cut Rohit in half and knocked over his off stump. A relieved roar from Siraj, echoed by Ahmedabad's crowd, told you this was no ordinary wicket. Siraj wasn't done. He returned to remove the struggling Ryan Rickalton, whose 12-ball 7 gummed up the chase. With MI at 48 for 2 at the end of the power play, the tone was set. Suryakumar shows flair, but can't finish. Tilak Verma, who began explosively with 4-6 off Rabada, slowed down as the innings wore on. It was Suryakumar Yadav who infused life back into Me's chase. On just his second delivery, he unleashed his signature Supla shot over fine leg for 6, a reminder of his audacious creativity. He took on Siraj again, then lofted a Sai Kishore over extra cover. But even as sky flowed, Tilak's strike rate dipped, and the pressure returned. Their 62-run partnership steadied the innings but didn't break open the game. And soon, Prasidh Krishna stepped in to blow it all away. Prasidha's masterclass in deception. Introduced in the 12th over, Prasidh Krishna didn't rely on raw pace alone. He pulled out the slower balls, a tactic MI themselves had used, and bamboozled Me's middle order. Tilak Verma miscued a slower short ball to wide long on. Sky, trying to replicate his earlier shot, gloved it to his helmet. Next, Sky attempted a slog over long off and perished to a 97.1 km/h off cutter. The silent assassin had tilted the match decisively. Prasidh finished with 2 for 18, one of the finest spells of the match. Hardik fails to inspire a comeback. With Sky gone, it was down to the returning Hardik Pandya, booed here last season but cheered tonight. The moment was ripe for redemption. Instead, it turned bitter. Unable to time the ball or pierce the field, Hardik laboured through his innings. When Rabada dismissed him in the 17th over, the equation read 73 needed off 18 balls. Game over. While Naman Dheer and Mitchell Santner struck a few late blows, they were cosmetic. The Titans had conquered, and Mumbai were left licking wounds. Tactical brilliance, Gujarat's smart surface call. What's most fascinating is that GT chose this surface. Assistant coach Parthiv Patel revealed during the game that the Titans had opted for a black soil pitch that would grip and take pace off the ball. It worked perfectly. Their batters scored fast while the ball was new. Their bowlers, Siraj, Prasidh, Rabada, bowled cutters and off-pace deliveries on a sticky surface. Mumbai Indians never adjusted. Shubman Gill's Titans are not just a team with flair, they're tacticians with a killer instinct. Final word, Sudarshan's elegance, Prasidha's intelligence. Sai Sudarshan's 63 off 38 is further proof that he's ready for higher honours, be it for India or in global leagues. Prasidh Krishna, coming off injuries and early career struggles, is now showcasing the kind of variation and control that could make him a white ball asset. MI, meanwhile, have questions to answer. Can Rohit rediscover his spark? Will Hardik deliver under pressure? And what of their bowling combinations? Match summary. Gujarat Titans won 96 for 8 from 20 overs. Sudarshan 63 off 38, Buttler 39, Gill 38. Hardik 2 for 29, Bolt 1 for 24. Mumbai Indians 160 for 6 20 overs. Suryakumar 48 of 29, Tilak 39 of 29. Prasidh Krishna 2 for 18, Siraj 2 for 34. Result, Gujarat Titans won by 36 runs. Player of the match, Sai Sudharsan. IPL 2025 match report. Delhi Capitals vs Sunrisers Hyderabad, 30th March 2025. Stark's historic 5-4 and Du Plessis' firepower sink Sunrisers in Vizag. Result, Delhi Capitals won 66 for 3, Du Plessis 50, Fraser McGurk 38, Poral 34 not out, Ansari 3 for 42, beat Sunrisers Hyderabad 163, Aniket 74, Stark 5 for 35, Kuldeep 3 for 22, by 7 wickets. Venue, Dr. Y.S. Rajshekhara Reddy ACA VDCA Cricket Stadium, Vishakhapatnam. Introduction, Stark and DC sparkle in Vizag. Delhi Capitals notched their second consecutive victory in IPL 2025 with a commanding 7-wicket win over Sunrisers Hyderabad in Vishakhapatnam. Mitchell Stark starred with the ball, producing a record-breaking maiden 5-wicket haul in T20s, while Faf Du Plessis set the tone with a brisk half-century in the chase. Despite Aniket Verma's explosive 74 of 41 balls, SRH's aggressive batting approach once again came under scrutiny as they collapsed under pressure, handing DC a comfortable win with 4 overs to spare. Stark sizzles with career-best spell. Mitchell Stark was simply unplayable. Bowling with pace, control, and deadly accuracy, the Australian left-armer tore through SRH's top and lower order to finish with figures of 5 for 35, the best of his T20 career. After Abhishek Sharma's needless run-out in the first over, Ishan Kishan slashed to deep third, and Nitish Reddy heaved a slower delivery to mid-on. Then came the most anticipated face-off, Travis Head vs Stark. Head managed to force early but fell trying to ramp a rising ball, KL Rahul taking a sharp catch. SRH were reeling at 37 for 4 within 5 overs. Aniket Verma's lone resistance. Enter Aniket Verma, just 3 T20s old, who played like a seasoned pro. Despite being dropped early, he punished DC's bowlers with 5 fours and 6 sixes in a blazing 41-ball 74. Alongside Henrik Klaasen 36, he stitched a 77-run stand off 40 balls to revive the innings. Aniket took a particular liking to Axar Patel, hitting him for consecutive sixes and following it up with more aggression later. Klaasen's dismissal, caught brilliantly by debutant Vipraj Nigam, triggered another collapse. Kuldeep Yadav struck twice in the middle overs, dismissing Abhinav Manohar and Pat Cummins, while Stark returned to finish things off. SRH were bowled out for 163 with 8 balls unused. Du Plessis leads the chase. Delhi's reply started in high gear. While Jake Fraser McGurk struggled for timing, Faf Du Plessis was all class and control. The veteran South African raced to 50 off just 26 balls, punishing Abhishek Sharma and Pat Cummins with powerful strokes. The 81-run opening stand in under 9 overs laid the foundation for a hassle-free chase. Ansari's return, but DC stay in control. Jishan Ansari, returning to top-flight T20 after 6 years, picked up 3 wickets including Du Plessis and Fraser McGurk. His 3 for 42 briefly gave SRH hope, especially after he bowled KL Rahul around his legs after a quick cameo. However, Abhishek Poral and Tristan Stubbs ensured there were no further hiccups. Their 51-run partnership of 28 balls took DC home with 24 balls to spare. Key performers: Mitchell Stark, 5 for 35, lethal new ball spell and clinical death bowling. Aniket Verma, 74 of 41, a fearless innings under pressure. Kuldeep Yadav, 3 for 22, choked SRH in the middle overs. Faf Du Plessis, 50 of 26, fluent and aggressive start to the chase. Jishan Ansari, 3 for 42, notable return after 6 years. Final word, DC flex their depth, SRH need recalibration. This win cements Delhi's strong start to IPL 2025. With their bowlers firing and the top order clicking, DC are looking like early contenders. Mitchell Stark's performance will be long remembered, not just for the numbers but for the authority it restored. Sunrisers, meanwhile, need to reassess their high-risk batting strategy. Despite Aniket Verma's brilliance, their inability to build partnerships or consolidate after early setbacks continues to cost them. Final result, Delhi Capitals won by 7 wickets. Player of the match, Mitchell Starc, 5 for 35. IPL 2025 Match Report. Royal Challengers Bengaluru vs Chennai Super Kings, 28 March 2025. Patidar and Peace duo led RCB to historic win over CSK in Chennai. Result, Royal Challengers Bengaluru won 96 for 7, Patidar 51, Salt 32, Noor 3 for 36, Pathirana 2 for 36 beat Chennai Super Kings 146 for 8, Ravindra 41, Dhoni 30 not out, Hazelwood 3 for 21, Dayal 2 for 18 by 50 runs. Venue, M.A. Chidambaram Stadium, Chennai. Introduction, RCB end long wait in Chennai. Royal Challengers Bengaluru RCB finally ended their 17-year drought in Chennai with a thumping 50-run win over arch-rivals Chennai Super Kings CSK at Chepauk. The victory marked RCB's first in Chennai since the inaugural season in 2008 and inflicted CSK's biggest ever defeat at home. Led by a commanding half-century from captain Rajat Patidar and a fast bowling masterclass from Josh Hazelwood and Bhuvneshwar Kumar, RCB not only silenced a sea of yellow but made a powerful statement early in IPL 2025. RCB batters take control early. The pitch at Chepauk wasn't the flat track many anticipated, offering seam and bounce for those who could extract it. RCB's approach with the bat, however, was full of intent and aggression. Phil Salt gave them a flying start, dispatching Ashwin's first ball for 6 and racing 232 off 16 balls before a lightning stumping from Dhoni off Noor Ahmed ended his stay. Devdutt Padikkal then took on Ravindra Jadeja with uncharacteristic flair, sweeping and charging to force a 15-run over. When Ashwin removed Padikkal for 27, it brought together Patidar and Virat Kohli. While Kohli struggled to find fluency, Patidar maintained tempo. He capitalized on a dropped catch at 17 and reached a fluent 51 off 32 balls, peppering the boundaries with deft pickup shots and brutal timing. CSK struggled to contain. RCB's aggressive approach disrupted CSK's plans, as Ashwin and Jadeja were targeted and taken for 59 runs in just 5 overs combined. Kohli found some rhythm briefly, taking 16 off Pathirana's second over before falling for a runnable 29. Despite losing wickets in the later overs, RCB maintained momentum. Jitish Sharma's crisp 6 off Noor and Tim David's final over assault, 3 sixes off Sam Curran, took RCB to a competitive 196. Curran, under pressure, has now conceded 47 runs in his combined 4 overs across 2 matches. Hazelwood and Bhuvneshwar tear through CSK top order. The Chennai pitch revealed its trickiness in the second innings, and RCB's pacers exploited it to perfection. Josh Hazelwood delivered a devastating opening spell, removing Rahul Tripathi and Rituraj Gaikwad in his first over with bounce and movement. Bhuvneshwar Kumar added to the misery by dismissing Deepak Hooda with a classic outswinger, marking his 73rd IPL power play wicket. CSK were reduced to 19 for 3 inside 4 overs and never really recovered. The chase falters. Rachan Ravindra 41 and Shivam Dubey tried to rebuild but found little joy against RCB's disciplined bowling and clever field placements. The required rate kept climbing, and boundaries dried up. MS Dhoni, entering at number 9 only for the second time in his career, walked in with just 4.4 overs left. The match was already slipping away, and even a few trademark blows from the CSK legend couldn't rescue the situation. CSK eventually finished on 146 for 8, handing RCB a famous 50-run win. Key performers. Rajat Patidar, 51 from 32 balls, anchored the innings and took the attack to CSK spinners. Josh Hazelwood, 3 for 21 in 4 overs, with early breakthroughs that broke CSK's back. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, 1 for 20 in 3 overs, including a vital power play wicket. Tim David, 22 not out of 7 balls, crucial late cameo. Noor Ahmed, 3 for 36, kept CSK in the game during the middle overs. Final word, RCB make a statement. RCB's win was more than just 2 points, it was a psychological breakthrough. Their bowling unit showed they could dominate at Chepauk, and their batters adapted well to a pitch that offered help to both pace and spin. CSK will reflect on their decision-making, especially in the batting order and bowling combinations. While Dhoni's late entry brought nostalgia, it also raised tactical questions. For RCB, the monkey is off the back. A Chennai jinx is no more. Final result, Royal Challengers Bengaluru won by 50 runs. Player of the match, Josh Hazlewood, 3 for 21.
Pouring power in Shardul Spark. Lucknow turns the tables on Hyderabad. Date March 27, 2025. Venue Rajiv Gandhi International Stadium, Hyderabad. Match result. LSG beat SIH by 5 wickets with 23 balls to spare. In a stadium still echoing from the thunderous carnage of Sunrisers Hyderabad's 286 just a few days ago, Lucknow Super Giants turned the narrative inside out. This time, it wasn't Travis Head or Abhishek Sharma who lit up the night. It was Nicholas Pooran and the unlikeliest of bowling heroes, Shardul Thakur, who gave Hyderabad a taste of their own medicine. The setup, SRH's 300 hype hits a wall. Coming off a record-breaking innings in their season opener, Sunrisers Hyderabad seemed destined to breach the elusive 300-run mark, a feat no IPL team has yet achieved. With their devastating top order intact and Lucknow fielding a second-string bowling lineup, the stage was set. But cricket is a way of flipping the script, and so it did. SIH's power-packed batting order fizzled out at 190 for 9, undone by a wily display of medium-pace mastery from Shardul Thakur, who picked up 4 for 34, his best-ever IPL spell. Shardul the disruptor, 2 in 2. Thakur's magic lay in his ability to disrupt. After a watchful first over, his second turned the game. First, he had Abhishek Sharma caught at deep square leg with a short ball that hurried onto the batter. Next ball, he sent Ishan Kishan back down the leg side. Thin edge, smart catch. The man dubbed Lord by fans showed he was anything but ordinary. By the time he returned for his second spell, Travis Head was already rattled. 2 chances, one dropped by Pooran and another by Bishnoi, kept him alive briefly, but debutant Prince Yadav made no mistake when the moment came. Head was bowled for 47. Clayson's strange exit and Bishnoi's web. Just as SIH began to rebuild, disaster struck. A bizarre run-out saw Heinrich Clayson depart after deflected full toss crashed into the non-striker's stumps with Clayson well short. Soon, Bishnoi bowled Nitish Reddy, and SRH's momentum stalled. From 100 for 3, they limped to 190, a total that seemed 30 to 40 runs short in Hyderabad's 6-laced amphitheatre. The 6-hit syndrome, all fire, no flame. Sunrisers stuck to their DNA, hit hard, hit big, but lacked the staying power. Aniket Voma struck back-to-back sixes twice, once off Bishnoi and then Rutty, only to fall trying to do it again. Captain Pat Cummins walked in and did the improbable, 3 sixes off 3 balls, only to be dismissed on the 4th. Flash, but not quite substance. The closing overs yielded just 10 runs. The death overs had become Lucknow's playground. Pooran puts on a power show. If SIH had Travis Head, LSG had Nicholas Pooran. Walking in after Markram's early dismissal, Pooran's innings was an exhibition in controlled aggression. His 70 off 26 balls had the crowd gasping. Every part of the ground was in range. Over mid-wicket? Yes. Over long off? Twice. Backward square? Of course. He bludgeoned 6 sixes and 6 fours, bullying Abhishek Sharma twice slog-swept for 6 and dismantling Adam Zampa with contemptuous ease. Marsh's muscle and Samad's finishing touch. With Pooran going full beast mode, Mitchell Marsh settled into a secondary role. Still, his 52 off 29 was vital. His towering sixes over cover and down the ground neutralized Shami early. Pooran's departure didn't deter LSG's march. By the time he was LBW to Cummins, the required rate was barely 5. Even after losing Marsh, Pant, and Badoni, Abdul Samad, ironically a former Sunrisers player, polished off the chase with a 22 off 8 balls, including a monster 6 that ended the match. Turning the tables, poetic payback. Just last season, SRH had humbled LSG with a record chase. This time, LSG returned the favor and emphatically to chase 191 in 16.1 overs with 5 wickets in hand is a statement. It speaks of depth, intent, and a fearless approach. And fittingly, it was the most underrated man of the night, Shardul Thakur, who set it up. From unsold at the auction to player of the match. That's IPL for you. Match summary. Sunrisers Hyderabad, 194.9 OFF 20 overs. Head 47 OFF 24, Verma 36 from 13, Reddy 32 OFF 28. Thakur 44 34, Bishnoi 24 35. Lucknow Super Giants, 193.45, 16.1 overs. Poor in 70 from 26, Marsh 52 OFF 29. Samad 22 not out from 8. Cummins 2-4 29, Shami 1-4 34. Player of the match, Shardul Thakur. Next up, LSG will look to build on this win when they travel to Ahmedabad, while SIH return to the drawing board to sort their bowling chaos.
In the IPL 2025, KKR dominated RR in a thrilling match. Despite missing Sunil Narine, KKR's spinners shone bright. Moeen Ali and Varun Chakravarthi restricted RR to 151 for 9. Quinton de Kock's unbeaten 97 led KKR to an 8-wicket win. The Barsapra Stadium crowd witnessed a masterclass in cricket. KKR's strategic brilliance and individual performances stood out. This victory puts KKR back in the IPL 2025 contention.
In the IPL 2025 clash, KKR dominated RR in Guwahati. Despite missing Sunil Narine, KKR's spinners shone. Moeen Ali and Varun Chakravarthi restricted RR to 151 by 9. Quinton de Kock's unbeaten 97 led KKR to an 8-wicket win. KKR's strategic spin and de Kock's batting were key. This victory boosts KKR's momentum in the tournament.